Welcome, folks. This is Yvonne Davis, author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. And I wanted to talk to you some more about the subject matter that I brought up in the last video. And I'm at a conference right now. You can see palm trees in the background. But I really wanted to jump on here and say more about that topic because I got tons of questions, and I know you guys want to know more. I knew when I made the video, it was very complicated, very complex, and brings up a lot of energy, you know, like emotional energy in people. And so I was planning to do a series of videos, and I'm still planning to do that. So please be patient. This is going to take time to fully unpack what I was talking about in that first video. If you haven't seen it, just wherever up above, click on a link and go back and watch that video, because I don't want to repeat everything I said in that video. I want to give you new information in this video. And as always, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, click like on this video, share with friends and family, and on social media. This one, I mean, you're really going to want to share this information. And of course, as always, leave your comments. So, and if you want to join the Financial Freedom Workshop, you can still take advantage of that special. You get both an hour reading and the workshop, 12-week workshop, both at a discount if you buy them together. And of course, as always, you can get a reading if that's all. If you just want a reading, you can get that too. Alrighty, so and the link is below. Trying to like pour out all this information as fast as I can. Okay, so let's go look at that chart. I will try to do another one or two videos this weekend if I can squeeze it in during this conference. So anyway, this is the chart that I was looking at that really blew my mind in the last video. So it had to do with the American Civil War. For some reason, my intuition told me, go back and look at the birth chart of the American Civil War. Now, I don't think anyone has ever done a birth chart for the American Civil War. I actually did not look for that. I just looked to see when did the American Civil War begin. It began on April 12th, 1861, when the Confederates attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina. I put Charleston because Fort Sumter is not in my program, but Charleston is close enough for accuracy. And then as I was doing my research, because I actually do many hours of research when I'm planning a video, because I want to look at a number of different charts and see what happens, and have to do some research like on history and things like that. So anyway, as I was examining this chart, I noticed that Pluto had crossed the north node of this American Civil War birth chart. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So I did what's called a Pluto true node return. You can see that up here, Pluto true node return. It tells us exactly when Pluto returned to the exact placement of the north node on this chart. Now, understand that nodes are extremely, extremely karmic. There are a number of different things that indicate karma in astrology. The north and south node are definitely part of that, and Pluto. Pluto is incredibly karmic. And I can't go into all the reasons why this is so, but one thing I will tell you is that the North Node generally represents moving into the future, and the South Node generally indicates something releasing and leaving into the past. So this has to do with what you might say a karmic future regarding the American Civil War. And then when I looked at when exactly did Pluto land on the north node of this chart, because I knew that would be incredibly karmic. Sure enough, it happened on March 22nd, 2016, and that turned out, when I looked it up on the internet, that turned out to be Super Tuesday of 2016, prior to the presidential elections. So the Super Tuesday is always about this time in March on Tuesday. And this is when people go to the primaries, and the majority of the country chooses who they want to nominate as the candidate for either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Well, as it turned out, on this particular March 22nd, 2016 Super Tuesday, Donald Trump emerged as really the front runner of the Republican Party. And basically people were saying, this is who we want to nominate as our candidate for the Republican Party. And so he did end up becoming the candidate for the Republican Party. And it really comes down to this day, March 22nd. So there's nothing in astrology that is random, okay? This has meaning. Absolutely, this has meaning. And Pluto is all about power. So there's something karmic unfolding that goes back cyclically to the American Civil War, the beginning of the American Civil War. Now we have Donald Trump emerging as the front runner of the Republican Party on March 22nd, 2016. This is not a coincidence, okay? So that's the foundation for understanding what I'm going to talk about next. And again, if you haven't seen that video, just look for the links. You can also, at the end of this video, probably find a link. So, so let's go ahead and talk about the other charts that I want to show you. Okay, so what we need to do is, let me pause this for a second, make sure I have the right chart. Hold on. Okay, so we're ready to go. Let me take you to the charts. All right, so what I wanted to know was, how is this going to impact the United States? And there are two charts that I use. One is called the U.S. Sibley chart, which is the birth chart for the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776 in Philadelphia, PA. Now, the thing I want to say is I did get some questions in the comments regarding why I use this chart. And so I want to say really quickly that, like I said, I use two different charts when I'm looking at the impact on the United States. One is this U.S. Sibley chart for the Declaration of Independence, and the other one is the U.S. Constitution signing chart. And they have different meanings, so you have to understand that. This was the birth of the nation in the sense that it was when we broke away from the monarchy, the English monarchy, and said we are going to be on our own now. So that was kind of birth. But then the U.S. Constitution signing chart is the birth of our nation's governmental structure, okay? So there are two different things, and both are going to ultimately be impacted. But I want to start with this chart for a very important reason. One is because this chart comes first in time. And so we're going to see how the planets land on the natal chart, such as the Pluto return that we're going to have. When Pluto hits 27 degrees of Capricorn, 33 minutes, we will want to be looking at that, and I'm sure many astrologers will be looking at that, certainly the ones who are discussing political astrology. So anyway, this Pluto return comes before the U.S. Constitution signing chart, Pluto, okay? And again, I know this is really complicated, so please bear with me. Please be patient. I will be putting out videos as often as I can. I have to lower my voice. I hope you can still hear me because, you know, it's early in the morning. People are starting to wake up and mull around. And so that's one of the challenges of doing videos when you are not at home. Okay, so just bear with me, please. Trust that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to give you all the information. You just need to be patient, and you'll you'll see as the videos unfold. You'll see how the story unfolds. So anyway, this is the full moon eclipse. Okay, eclipses are incredibly karmic, and they also trigger karma. And so I wanted to see how this was landing for the U.S. this summer, because the U.S. is going to have, or at least the Declaration of Independence is going to have um, an eclipse, a full moon eclipse right over the sun at its solar return, and that's very unusual. Everyone has a solar return once a year. That's your birthday. Okay, the nation has birthday. The Declaration of Independence has birthday, but to have an eclipse on your birthday is very different. Okay, something is coming to an end. Now, don't worry, it's not democracy. I'm going to explain that to you. That's why you have to be very patient. I'm going to explain what I meant by revolution, and I'm going to help you to understand why I said it's not going to be like the original American Civil War. Not that there won't be violence, but it'll be pockets of violence by people who are already emotionally unstable. So just like